Hi guys, back again with me, Austin from About Heart. Today I'm going to share with you my experience on two figures which are from Hasbro's. These are part of the Star Wars releases from them. This is called the Star Wars Mission Fleet line. Right, I shared two figures from this line. Right, so today I'm gonna share to you these two figures. The first one is Chewbacca. Maybe I'll go see Chewbacca first, and then the other one is Boba Fett. All right. Okay. Now it is meant for kids, but I do like to pay attention to this smaller scale figure, which are not really in scale to any other line that Hasbro has. But because although it offers a lot of playability, it's just simple, small, not much articulation, yes, but usually it comes with vehicle like this, right? So, all right, let's take a look at the packaging. These two are not unusual. These two are smaller than the one that we had, the Mandalorian and Darth Vader. I'm not sure why they don't make Boba Fett with Slave 1, but instead they give him this kind of, I don't know what do you call this, a backpack, jetpack. Yeah, and he's already had a backpack, right? So why another one? I don't know. There's probably a business decision on this. But if you pay attention, somehow I think the shape here, it reminds me of Slave 1 a little bit. But we'll look more into that later on. Now at the back, we have instructions, so you can actually put, I think, the blaster on the jetpack here. There's kind of a slot there where you can pack it in. I'll try it later on. You can turn it around. Okay, you can turn the wings upside down. We'll see about that. You can remove the jetpack. So the actual jetpack with the larger one. All right, that's with Boba Fett. Pretty simple. Whereas Chewbacca here, I do have Han Solo. I'm gonna share with you maybe in the next videos. By the way, I'm sorry if the video is a bit shaky. I'm trying a new setup here. Okay, the Chewbacca, and this is a Mission Fleet version of Chewbacca. They have this other line, 5 inches line, which released Han Solo and Chewbacca and several other characters. Now, it's the same face. I do have that, but I don't have it with me right now. I wish I can share it to you guys. It's the same face that it has, a bit thin for Chewbacca in my opinion, but I like the fact that I think they still maintain the height. We'll see about that. Okay, Chewbacca is supposed to be a tall character. Now he comes with this kind of a chic speeder or something. I'm not sure what is it called. We'll see to it later on. Of course, at the back, there's always a beachfront barrage. I'm not sure. How about the Boba Fett one? Capture in the clouds. Huh. Anyway, is it from the game? Is it from the animation? I'm not quite sure. I'm not really a fan on those. I'll check it out maybe someday. But yeah, so we have this, what do you call, you know, the moving thing like in the helicopter on top, which is removable, I guess. So it's not really a speeder yet. It's more like a copter or something. And then you do have pegs here which you can connect later on. So that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at these two figures from Mission Fleet. Okay, let's take a look at Chewbacca first. Now before I start, I'm gonna measure him first. This line is supposed to have 2.5-inch scale of figures, but Chewbacca's is supposed to be taller. I think, yep, to the top of his head, he is around, I think, slightly shy of 7 centimeters or 2.75 inch. Right, so yes, he is supposed to be a taller character than most. Let's compare quickly with Mandalorian. As you can see, he's taller than Mandalorian. It's just that I wish he's a bit bulkier. As you can see, he's very thin. Then let's compare to Darth Vader. By the way, the Darth Vader here is also very thin. Darth Vader is supposed to be, especially the head is quite small. As you can see the height here, Chewbacca is also tall, but Darth Vader is quite tall. Well, this is a small figure scale, so that much is at least is still appreciated. All right, now before I continue on to focus on him, I just want to share also why I pay attention to this line. As always, is because I used to collect. I mean, I'm still collecting. This is the what is called the Galactic Heroes, Star Wars Galactic Heroes by Play School. This is the kind of a vintage version of it, right, which is I think it's quite safe for kids to play, right? And this is the modern version of Chewbacca, right? As you can see, it's a very lovely looking, a lovely face of Chewbacca, very cute, isn't it? Now, the vintage one is quite interesting. It's posed in certain way like that. This is most of the time it's like that. As you can see, I have Boba Fett here as well. It's kind of, I don't know why they designed it this way, but it's okay. It's supposed to be kids' toys and no fuss type of action figure. Cool to collect. And interestingly, this Chewbacca is the only the only figure in this line which has all articulation on 4 limbs. As you can see, the arm here you can rotate, and then the legs you can turn around. Okay, here as well. Okay, and then of course the left arm. Sorry, right. Of course, all the details are molded. The bandolier is molded, but you can see, you know, all the details is still Chewbacca. That's why it's not like Lego. They offer stylized that pretty much to Lego. But this you can still have the appearance of Chewbacca. And interestingly, also for this Chewbacca, by the way, it's quite heavy. It's quite solid. This figure can feel the weight. As you can see, it's 2001, distributed by Hasbro, created by Play School. Now, there's another version of Chewbacca with another weapon, but this bowcaster is actually removable. As you can see, here is a cute, super deformed bowcaster that we have here. It's very rubbery. In fact, the figure, well, this one is not so rubbery, but maybe with Boba Fett later on. I'm not sure what the pack here is for. Mostly I collect the figures, sometimes the vehicles. Those are very good figures. I recommend you to look for them. Okay. Again, you can move the bowcaster between the 2 peg holes. Both are working fine. Okay. But all rest are molded. But you know, you can still look at the details on the fur, on the bandolier. It's all good. Okay. Of course, even on the bowcaster, it's not that bad. Just needed a bit more of paint, and it will look awesome. But hey, it's for kids, right? It's for kids to play around anyway, and it's very rubbery, like I said. I don't normally put it on the right here, but it works. Let me try to push it a bit more. All right. So yeah, there you have it. This is the vintage style, like I mentioned, quite big, isn't it? This is the modern style. So at some point in time, Play School changed the style of the figures. into this. They add a bit more articulation on the arm here. You see the ball hinge there, so that you can do like this. You can still rotate your arms, okay, both sides actually, the head even, but this okay, this one is stuck. Let me try with Boba Fett later on, because of the sculpted fur on the necks here, which limits, but I know I can feel it that the articulation is supposed to be there. The bandolier still the same, cannot really remove it, it's all sculpted. Okay, similar with the vintage one. Let me just stand him up. It's for okay. Now there's another articulation which is on the wrist. You can turn it around. Okay, but unlike the vintage one, the weapon is already fixed. As you can see here, his weapon is already sculpted here, and you cannot remove it. The weapon looks okay, small, rubbery. Okay, and the articulation on the leg is these two legs moves together, so you can make a sitting position, because this figure normally also comes with vehicles so that they can sit on the pilot seat, right? Let me check whether I can read the year here. 2011. So you can imagine 10 years later, Play School came up with this. I'm not sure what's the relation of Play School and Hasbro, but I take it I have to check whether Play School is part of Hasbro. But yeah, that's why I like this. I figure I still collect them whenever I can find them. Now, that's why I feel that we don't really see this Play School. I think they are concentrating on Power Rangers brand this day, Power Rangers franchise. But I look at this Mission Fleet as kind of a spiritual successor of the line right now. Okay, I may be wrong, but that's my impression of it. Okay, to fill up the same age group. Yeah. So again, I'll just put these two Chewbacca. I like this one, really cute. Right. Now, unlike these two from Play School Galactic Heroes, the bandolier on this one actually is removable. We do have articulation on the arm, so you do have ball jointed here, which you can do it to move to the back and upside, just like your almost like your 6-inch TVC line, but without the elbow articulation, right? So you do have that. Then you have the wrist. Okay. By the way, the wrist is easily removable normally. Okay. This is on the gripping position with the trigger finger on the right. Okay. So you're supposed to grip the weapon on the right there. I'm not sure how I feel with the bandolier. I like the fact that it's removable, but at the same time it's a bit annoying because it keeps falling down like this. Yeah, well, sometimes it happens. Normally for the bigger figure, they stuck it just below the fur here. Alright, so okay, the details on this one is not as intricate as the two predecessor there, but yeah, you have the pig holes at the back like usual with the other what do you call that, Mission Fleet figures. Okay, you do have rotation on the head. Okay, it's a ball joint, so so as you can see, you can move it side to side as well, but because of the sculpted part of the fur here, his movement is kind of limited. The legs, not like the Play School, can be on the tightest movement independently on the right and on the left, so you can do kind of a split like this, full split. So I'm not sure. Some people complain why will Hasbro focus on this while they could put the energy on polishing the vintage collection line. But well, it's business, man. There's a pack holes down there. So 10 years, about 10 years later, let me see the years. About 10 years later, around 10 years, I think 2019 to 2020, Hasbro released this. They came up with this. And by the way, the material feels a bit rubbery as well. Okay, across the limbs. So bandolier can be removed. I'm not going to remove it. Nothing much, nothing special. Very rubbery. There's a number 1. All right. There's a marker probably. Okay, that's for the articulation. The head, the face looks okay. It looks angry, very animated. You can see the paint on the teeth, but nothing much aside from that. But the paint, the shadings is not bad, I think. But the sculpt needs to be better. I feel so. It's just not as intricate as this, Of course, the surface is different. This one is very thin. Cannot blame them. So, alright, by the way, it still has the bowcaster. This is the very small bowcaster. I hope you can see it. I have a feeling that this is actually a 2-piece, as you can see here. Let me take my marker. As you can see here, it's kind of a 2-piece, but then they glue it on. That's my impression. Don't worry, it's very secure and rubbery. I think it's very unlikely that this will break when you play. But there are details there on the grip and on the bowcaster there, as you can see. But mostly are rubbery. Okay, nothing much here. We'll try to put it on Chewbacca on the right. Okay, so yeah, you can grip it easily and it will not drop. It is secure. Alright. So that's for Chewbacca the figure. For Chewbacca's vehicles is this. It comes with several pieces with a bit of assembly needed to be done. Okay, I'll get to the main frame first. It's quite a huge frame. It's quite solid, quite rubbery. I like the details down here. Okay. This one seems to be a block in there. These two kind of grayish, almost bone white thing, silver. Okay, but it's secure. But it feels very solid and rubbery. Okay, then there's this bowcaster being put here. I'm not sure whether this is supposed to be a weapon or it's just bowcaster that being attached here. Not really sure about that. If that's the case, I wish that they could have incorporated the bowcaster that he has to be put here instead. But no, they opted with this molded and glued options, as you can see on the paint there. Oh, by the way, we cannot be too picky, can we? Alright, well, this is not TVC. On top here there's a pack. It is shaped on a certain way so that we know how to put it in. Okay, now this is the front. Sorry, this is the front part. By the way, let me try to focus. This is the front part, by the way. So his face will be facing this way and grabbing these two. These two are very, very elastic. It will help us to put him on this later on. I will try. There's a pack holes here, as you can see. Now let me try to. We have three more pieces. We have two transparent small stuff like this. Okay, the front part is the one with the gap here, as you can see this. So facing to the front, then you can put the pack hole here. Let me try. Okay, as you can see. Right, let's try to put on the other one. I think both sides are similar. You can use it interchangeably, so no worries in that. It's too transparent thing. Again, just make sure the one with the gap should be facing the front. Okay, that's the clue, which is very easy. All right, that's it. Now, how about let's put Chewbacca first here, okay? Let's put Chewbacca to sit. You don't have to remove the bandolier, it's okay. What we need to do is, okay, I find that it's easier to sit him up from the front instead. Okay, so all right, we are halfway done. As you can see, this really is a weird arrangement of seating, but hey, it's Star Wars. What do you expect? Now what we need to do, we need to make sure that his palm is gripping to the handles that I mentioned earlier. And yeah, all right. Okay, we're almost done. There's one more thing that we need to do. We need to. Okay, it turned out it's not really kind of proper. I'm not sure. Okay, once again, I'm probably wrong. Okay, but we do have this piece on top with the four transparent thing, and then this metallic silver in the middle. Okay, kind of a bug, flying bug. So you can look at the shape of the pack and the pack holes, and you can plug it in accordingly, like that. All right. So that's how it looks from the top. Okay. That's how it looks from the bottom, from the back. Okay. Okay. If you are concerned with this, you can always heat it up. Make sure the angle is symmetrical, if that's what you wanted, and this one's as well. Okay, so that's with Chewbacca, with the vehicle. Let me measure the vehicle for a bit. Okay, right, from the end to the front is almost, I think it's around 8.5 centimeter. Okay, and then from the bottom to the top is around 7 centimeters. Okay, if you measure it this way, then you get almost 7 centimeters across the whole wings on top. Okay, so very easy, very simple. Yeah, that's how it is with Chewbacca. Now we move on to Boba Fett, but before this mission fleet Boba Fett, as always, I'd like to share the predecessor, which is the Galactic Heroes line by Playskool. This is the vintage one, and as I mentioned, why I like this line, although it's very limited in articulation, you can see that a lot of details that really portrays the characters. Okay, so you can see there's a big hole. Sorry, mine here is a bit dirty. There's a big hole down there. Okay, this vintage Boba Fett version doesn't have much articulation. It feels quite rubbery, especially on the leg. Okay, yeah, nothing much is plain here. Okay, it's all sculpted. The Jetpack, there's limited articulation which is on the arm. You can rotate it around, but look at those details, right? Look at those details which I like. There. Okay. And then the blaster is fixed to his hand. Okay. Right. So yeah, it's a cool figure to collect. Right. Now you have the insignia. I have it visible. Okay. Small, but it's there. Right. Now this is the modern version. The modern version, I like the color. It's a darker green. It has the same articulation as the others. A modern version, you have the rotating head, but it's limited because of the sculpt, because of the jetpack at the back. But you can see a lot of details which can be found from a Boba Fett, which is really cool, I think, for a kid's figure, right? Unfortunately, he doesn't have that insignia because of those articulation probably. So it does have a ball joint on the arm. Okay, you can rotate the arm 360, you can rotate the wrist. The blaster is fixed, but then you can always turn the what do you call that? The wrist alongside with the blaster. Okay, it's an articulation, right? You cannot remove the backpack here, jetpack, but look at that. I like the fact that they still color this even in the metallic and variation. Okay, the leg, you can move it into sitting position like that. So this is the modern Galactic Heroes Boba Fett. Oh, by the way, there's a bit more detail on top there. Let's compare it there. Alright, the rangefinder is fixed. I like the fact that the modern one is painted on this side. But how about this mission fleet? Okay, now here's the interesting part. Here's the jetpack. It's quite plain. Let's compare it to the Mandalorian. I check. Oh, yeah, it's also plain. But this is a Beskar version, so it's forgiven. But this one, oh well, it could be better, isn't it? But yeah, you can see a lot of details there. And it is removable, by the way. And the cape is attached to the jetpack. Let me show it to you. Alright, sorry about that. There's a pack hole, there's a pack. So the cape is attached to the jetpack instead. Now, one thing to be learned by the TVC line is they need to make the, for character like Boba Fett with backpack, they need to make the pack like is longer like this, so that it won't fall off easily. Right, so I like that. I'll remove this lame jetpack here. Fortunately, it's too plain for me. That's just me, that's just my taste. Now let's compare a little bit here. 10 years later, but less paint, fortunately. So just like Chewbacca is not as detailed as the other. The helmet part is okay, but the armor can be better. Of course, you can still have a look of all Boba Fett features. You can see it's supposed to have a color there. This piece is actually part of Chewbacca's race, right? It's not there, it's not painted at all, unfortunately. Let's take a look. This one is not, the vintage one is not so bad. While the modern one, they painted it yellow. Not sure, man, but they still try to do something with it, but here it's just plain. Doesn't have insignia. So, what can I say? This is on paint app application, this is the lamest among those two, aside from those two. I mean, compared to those two. Okay, so, well, articulation, you have the independent legs, then you have the wrist, you have the ball joint arm. You can use the hinge to move like that. It's okay if the arm is detached. You can always plug it in. It's very easy. Sometimes it's pop off. The trigger finger is on the right. So yeah, that's with this figure. Let's compare the height for a bit with Mandalorian. I feel that the Mandalorian here is done well enough. Not best, but the details, a lot of details there. But Boba Fett here, not so much. Well, the height is almost the same, I think. Let's compare to where is. Alright, Darth Vader is slightly taller, but the head is smaller. Okay. By the way, the head is rotatable, 360, and as you can see, you can kind of add a little bit of motion to the left, to the right, downward, upward. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the blaster. It doesn't have any smaller blaster, so this is the blaster that he has. Nothing much, plain. You can see the trigger part there. Yeah, but it's all painted in one color. It's solid rubbery. Okay. All right, let's try to put it on his right hand, because that's where the trigger finger is. And yes, he can weld it nicely, tight, one drop. Okay, so that's with the Boba figure. I'll measure it in a while. Okay, let's measure. Let's do measurement now. All right, let's straighten the head first. Okay. All right. He stands just shy of 2.5 inch. Okay. So yeah, standard. It's around 2 point, I don't know, 49, something like that. Yeah. 2 point. Yeah, so shy below 2.5 inch, or 6 point. Let me see. 6.3 centimeters. Okay, so that's with Boba Fett. Right, I wish it has more color. Okay, so here's the jetpack that came with Boba Fett. Let me try to focus for a bit. Right, for the most part it's rubbery, and as you can see here, this part is actually removable, and this part also, but don't worry about it, you can always put it back. It's actually quite secure. Now this wing part is somewhat rubbery. This wing part is rubbery as well on this side, so this side is rubbery as well. I like the details on the sculpts there, as you can see, is cool. Looks really cool. Here as well looks really cool. Now this part is more solid. I feel that this part is solid plastic, but the rest is more like a rubbery. Again, details there. I like that. On the top, details. The color scheme is pretty much like Boba Fett. I haven't thought that it's actually better colored than him. I prefer this kind of darker green instead of this, but again, that's my preference. Right, the insignia is here actually, so that's interesting, isn't it? As you can see, the insignia is here. It's quite detailed actually for the small figures. It's not bad. You have kind of a, I don't know, this maybe a gun. It's kind of rubbery. Okay, so you can feel the texture. All right, so I've already removed Boba Fett's jetpack, but let's try this. There's this feature where there's a clip here and here. I hope you can see it. Focus, face, focus. Here you can see here that there's a clip there. So let's try. On the instruction, we are asked to clip it this way, isn't it? So you can use the handle to just clip it there. And it does hold actually, like this. Does hold. Okay, not bad. There's also the one on the left. I tried it earlier. It feels that the one on the right is better fit. It's probably just in my figure. QC issues, I'm not sure. But hey, as long as it works, that's fine, isn't it? And you can plug it. Okay, look at the long pegs there. And voila. So, right, he can fly. Right, pretty simple, easy. Not like Chewbacca, you need to do this and that. You just need to plug in the what do you call the peg, and it's all done. All right, now this is the feature. I think you can move it around like this if you want to. You can, if you want to pose him like this, place him. Sorry, not pose. Place him like this. You can. Okay, maybe place him like this with the gun, sort of a gun here. Right on both sides. Oops, it fell off eventually. Oh, why? I had high hopes on you. All right. So, okay. You can do something like this as well. Kind of having him shooting shooting his artillery to the enemy, right? And yeah, sorry, I forgot to measure the jetpack here. Okay, from this end to this end is roughly 9 centimeters, slightly more than 9. Oh yeah, it is 9 centimeters. And then from this to this end to this end, let me check, is about 6.5 centimeters. Okay, so that's with this Boba Fett. The good thing with this jetpack is that if you can see this part here, it actually does support the figure if you want to display it this way, right? So it makes it easier. Sorry for the shakiness. So yeah, it helps when you want to display on your shelf, right? Okay, and yeah. By the way, for the Chewbacca ones, okay, here's the verdict. I wish they could have included some sort of flying stand. Okay, that'll make it better. It's just like the Mandalorian with his speeder. Okay, they'll look great, better. So if you have a stand, kind of showing it flying like that, it will be better. Some of my gripes in on the small rubbery part, which is minor because you can always do a head dry treatment, as you can see here. Is due being in the package for so long that it just bent to that way and the other one to another way, which is not to my liking, but it's very minor. Okay, again, the major gripes is Not really major, I'm joking. Just a relaxed verdict to me is that this small part which can be detached sometimes is a bit too troublesome because may fall off when you try to sit Chewbacca on this. Not sure what to call this speeder. So it's a bit of a problem sometimes. And yeah, again, it also have issues with the rubbery issues. Rubber issue, yeah. Again, it needs hair dryer treatment. Okay. I don't know why the camera keep focusing on my hand instead of figures. Yeah, so the stand, I wish we could have the stand, and then I wish we could have put his bowcaster somewhere. Okay, because no way he cannot wield his bowcaster, he needs to man the vehicle. So yeah, it left the bowcaster somewhere here. Kind of a shame, isn't it? I wish we can put it somewhere. All right, okay, that's with the whatever this vehicle is, right? See, if you display it this way, it doesn't look that good, but if you have a stand, then you can kind of display him in a certain way, certain position. It will be good, right? Now for this, for the most part, I like this Boba Fett more in playability compared to Chewbacca, since you just need to plug in the pack into his back. It's simpler that way, easier that way. This part is cool. I like the shooting artillery part here. It looks great. I think, yeah, if you can have a stand with him, it will look great as well. Unfortunately, we don't have any stand with him, but at least he can stand just fine. Another thing is the pack on this. Yeah, it works as you can see earlier, but if you start to touch it, and it will fall off easily. That's sad. That's why I put the weapon here instead. So yeah, that's pretty much with this Boba Fett. But well, it's not PVC. You cannot really have your expectation too high on these ones. Okay. Of course, Chewbacca is a must for me. If you have watched my videos for some times now, Chewbacca and Han Solo are two of my favorite character. Oh, by the way, yes, this is a major complaint. This needs more paint app, isn't it? Right? It's a shame, right? But hey, okay. All right, so let's put the other figure here, the classics and the modern. The classics and the modern. Right. You know what? This is still my favorite. Somehow. Okay, let's just. So, all right. So that's pretty much it with this two figure. Yes, these are catered for kids. Somehow, I like the Mandalorians, but I'm still hoping they would release this version at least to continue this version with Play School. I'm not sure how's their relationship is, and yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a while since I post any video. Hopefully I can continue on with another video soon. Boba Fett and Chewbacca with the vehicles compared with the other versions. I hope you guys like it. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell. So, see you. Ciao.